49er faithful, what's going on? It's your boy WayneBreezie, and the WayneBreezie Show is back in full effect. Today's episode, we're going to talking about training camp, and that's right, it's going to be some camp bodies because today they put on their pads. They're going to get all maxied out. Let's get to it right here on the WayneBreezie Show. Right that we shine at. All we know is the Niners. Ready to go at its finest. So faithful to the band. What's good, everybody? Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the WayneBreezie Show. Don't be booing me. Don't be hitting the boo. Why y'all booing? I know it's been a minute, been on hiatus, had to do some things and get things right, get prepared mentally for a brand new season of stuff and all that good stuff, but it's good to be back. Shout out to everybody out there. Want to send a quick shout out to our sponsors over at Residency. They still rocking with your boy Breezie, and I'm definitely rocking with them, so make sure you guys check them out. Residency.com. Use that promo code. You dig? Use the promo code SFBreezie. You can save on your purchase. They got a good sale going on right now, so make sure you guys check that out. All right, you do not want to miss out on that sale. All right, so there it is right there, Residency.com. Use the promo code SFBreezie. You'll save on your purchase. We got a lot to get to, man. We got to talk about recap training camp. They're headed into day 5. Got the Trent Williams situation, the holdout. Got the Brandon Aiyuk situation, the hold in. We got players injured. You guys, it's just a lot. Football's back. Football is officially back. More importantly, 49ers football is officially back. Before we get into the show, I got to send shout outs to all the members of the channel. Now, if you're a member of the channel, which you definitely want to become a member, all you got to do is click that join button. You can become a member of the channel. It comes with perks. One of the perks is that I'm going to shout you out. All right. So if you become a member at the lowest tier, you're going to get the shout out. All right. So make sure you join. It helps support the stream so that I could do more with the show for you. Fubu, I'm on it, right? So Peachy's in the building. What's going on, Peachy? Ben, what's good? He says, let's go, baby. I like that. Man, you be giving me some good ideas, man. Hey, baby. I like that. I like it a lot. You know what I mean? Ben, what's good, bro? Peachy's out there. She says, hello. Thanks for everybody for tuning in to the WayneBreezie Show. Listen, smash that like button. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're new, if it's your first time watching, you want to subscribe. Now, listen, we got some new stuff going on because the chat is only for subscribers only. A lot of crazy stuff been going on in the chat. I was getting all these kind of crazy things. I was like, what the hell is going on? Who is this person telling me whatever? Anyway, subscribe only. That way my moderators can get on you. If you are a subscriber, you still want to talk that crazy talk. But listen, subscribers only, man. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, you can definitely join and become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew as well. Raphael 5629ers is in the building. He wants everybody to like and subscribe. Again, Peachy's thanking everybody. What's going on, Colin? What's good, baby? It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. Hey, listen, I know it's early out there on the West Coast. My apologies. It's a good time for me. It's a good time. I got to do it at this time. It's a good time. It works for me. So, man, everybody else, check out the replay. Pawn the replay is what they say. Tanisha's in the building. Good morning, Breezy. Welcome back to a new season of love, fun, laughter, and football talk. That's exactly what this show is all about. I kept trying to figure out, like, what the heck is, when I do the show, what is this about other than the 49ers? It's love, fun, laughter, and football talk. Thank you, Tanisha. I needed that. I'm stealing it. I'm not going to borrow it because I'm going to keep it. I appreciate you for that. Oh, my man Colin has been a member for 14 months. He gets the ear horns. Colin, what's going on, baby? Thank you, man. Appreciate the support. It's 4 p.m. in Scotland, so this is perfect timing for my man Colin. Like, perfect timing. You know what I'm saying? For my man Colin. You know what's cool? I have the chat for members only, but I don't know. It is, I mean, not members only, subscribers only. I'm seeing everybody in here. So shout out to everybody that's out there, but the shout outs go out to the members for sure. Listen, become a member, man. All you got to do is click on that join button. Now, I got something new. YouTube always creating some new stuff. I do want to get this out there. I'm not going to do this every episode. Listen, we got some goals. All right. So I'm trying to reach 10 super chats on today of $5 or more. All right. And then I'm going to do a special show of Q&A for those that contribute to the super chats. on today. So listen, 10 super chats, $5 or more. All right. We get 10 of those joints in there. We reach that goal. It'll let me know. So if you see the little bullseye thing in your thing, click on it. It'll take you directly there. Just trying to do ways to interact, engage, and raise some money for the channel. All right. So make sure you guys go ahead and click on that if you want to participate in that. Do not forget the poll question. I'm so excited about pads, football pads. I got to make sure I specify when I talk about pads. I don't even like saying the word pads, but listen, football pads. I'm so excited because today is when training camp really starts. All right. So the poll question for today is simple. Which player will lay the biggest boom in practice? And now I know we have those post-traumatic stress got people out there that don't like the word boom because of the Legion of Boom. Listen, that junk is long gone. But who's going to lay the biggest boom? Is it Fred Warner? Is it Deebo Samuel? Is it Nick Bosa? I feel like Nick Bosa doesn't really hit hard unless it's the quarterback, right? Anyway, is it Nick Bosa or is it my man George Kittle, the Pancake King? I'm going to start calling George Kittle. You know what, Ty? If you're watching this show, I got an idea for Kittle. And I say my idea is live. That way I know it was said first. So if I see it, it was said here first. Can we create a George Kittle IHOP shirt? George Kittle IHOP shirt. For those that don't understand it, sorry for you missed it. But for those that do understand what I mean when I say IHOP, all right, I know we got to change some stuff up. I know we got to do it, but I want to use the colors. I want pancakes. I want George Kittle. Somehow we got to put that on the shirt. All right, so Ty, whenever you watch this, if you're watching this, let me know if we can work on something like that. Shout out to Ty Austin, great artist, graphic designer, 49er content creator, and just a damn great human being. I give him a round of applause. It's just great. He's been dealing with me all weekend long. He's been dealing with my crazy cynicisms and all that good stuff. So shout out to Ty. Just wanted to give him a shout out. All right, man, let's get down to the show. Listen, a lot to talk about, man. I haven't done a show in a minute. Do got some NFL news. Now, coaches are required in 2024 to do sideline interviews before games this season. They're required. They have to do sideline interviews, which is kind of cool, I think. I don't know how dull or bland these are going to be, but I like it. Because when I watch basketball, I like it when they interview the coaches like after the timeouts and, stuff like that. But this is pregame. Because after that, you don't really get a chance to talk to the coach. I think they should even update this a little bit. I want pregame coach and I want halftime coach. I want both. Give me both. Give me the interview. They might do the halftime. I just don't pay attention to the halftime because I'm doing a show for you guys live. But give me both of those because I can't wait to see the Kyle Shanahan ones because they're going to be so freaking weird, right? They're going to be weird. And it doesn't matter if we're winning at halftime. It doesn't matter. They're going to be Kyle Shanahan-esque. And if you know our head coach, Kyle Shanahan, you know exactly what I'm talking about, what I'm alluding to. Don't expect questions to be answered. Don't expect smart ass comments. They're just going to be Kyle Shanahan-esque. Give me that. I need that. I need that for my soul. So I'm actually hoping, you know what I'm saying, that this is something that's going to take, really good precedent in the NFL. I can't wait to see. And then you got some really fun coaches out there that really do like to talk. I'm glad Bill Belichick retired because that would be very awkward to hear him talk before a game. That interview should be 30 seconds long max. I don't know the length of these. I don't know any of that. All I know is that this is going to be fun watching our head coach do pregame interviews, this season. So this is going to be pretty cool. Coaches are required to do sideline interviews. This is going to be cool. This is going to be cool. That's just me. All right. So check it out. Let me know what you guys think about that situation. Before we get into any recaps and 49er news and updates, let's go over the injury report because we got to talk about the injury report. Now, we're not just talking about the NFI list, which Ricky Pearsall is on. We're not just talking about the PUP, Dre Greenlaw, Drake Jackson, Talanoa Hufanga. Those were already known. We're talking about the injuries that have happened so far at camp. We have several of them, and we got to talk about them. Here's the good news. One of the injuries is going to sideline a player for a few weeks. The other injuries are kind of soft tissue injuries, and they're just kind of like you kind of got to take them with a grain of salt. They're going to happen. We just hope that they happen a lot less frequently. But yeah, like that is what we got. So let's talk about Spencer Burford, broken hand. As of right now, surgery is an option and has not been required. They're waiting to see, but it is said that he's going to miss at least 3 weeks of camp. So that sounds like Spencer Burford's going to miss the preseason. Now, this is tough for me because I really expected Spencer Burford to take a step up. I do want to shout out our offensive lineman coach, Chris Forster, for taking the blame with Spencer Burford on that going rogue assignment in the Super Bowl. He said that, he just didn't have his guy repaired. I like that. He took accountability. We talk about accountability a lot on this show. We talk about accountability, and we watched Chris Forster take accountability. I thought that was pretty damn dope. But Spencer Burford, you can't go rogue. You got to do your assignment. Now, I personally had Spencer Burford penciled in at the starting right guard because I'm the type of person, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. No pun intended. And I'm going to use the next. That's so cool. No pun intended, right? But the next man up is 49ers rookie draft pick. Okay, Dominic Purdy. Okay, we're going to call him Big Pun. That's my name for Dominic Purdy. Don't nobody take that. I said it. It's Big Pun. Dominic Purdy. Ty, we will be ranking up. We racking up, baby. Big Pun Purdy. All right? Dominic Purdy, he should be getting the reps if Spencer Burford is out. I felt like that was going to be one of the camp battles. I think I kind of previewed that. I said that was going to be a camp battle. I'm not sure if I did it on IG Live or Facebook Live, but that was one of the camp battles that I had that I thought was going to be great because I think Spencer Burford is the starting right guard, but the rookie, Dominic Purdy, was going to come in and give him a run for his money. You rarely see rookies start on the 49ers offensive line, but Spencer Burford got to start his rookie season due to injuries or whatnot. And so that's what the Niners are faced. They're dealing with some injuries on that front line. Not too many because I went through the roster as far as the offensive line, and I get it. People were upset that the Niners haven't invested in Eddie G and the Bulldogs. I'm sorry. 49ers throwback. Listen, I'm sorry for not shouting y'all out. What's going on, everybody? Boats is in the building as well. Oh my God. I ain't a player. I just block a lot. Bro. Around here they call me Big Pun. I ain't gonna say the rest. Listen, I'm getting excited. That's it. I ain't a player. I just block a lot. Please. Big Pun, Dominic Purdy. I ain't a player. I just block a lot. I love this. I love this a lot. I do. Boat says loved all the mixed reviews at camp. Listen, you know what's the cool thing? All the content creators, all the beat writers, everybody's at camp. Some people are gonna give it to you straight up and down. Some people are gonna give you their perspectives, and it's you take it all with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, I'm glad that I'm not there, because it's just I already know what camp is. I know what it is. I know what they're doing, and none of it mean anything. None of the camp matters. All it is conditioning, repetition, reps, getting into shape, all that. After that, it comes down to week 1 of the NFL. That's when it starts. That's when everything starts. That's when the road to the Super Bowl starts. So camp is good. You build consistency. You build, the camaraderie. You get your captains. You get your reps in. You get your conditioning in. That's camp. You know what I mean? Obviously, you got to make the 53-man roster. That's a whole nother conversation. But my point is, if they mess up at camp, that's what you're expecting, right? You're expecting them to mess up at camp. You don't want people mastering camp. I mean, you want the players to go out there and do their thing and have the least amount of mistakes. But camp is where you iron out all the kinks. Camp's when you try certain things. Camp is when you see how you separate the cream from the crop, right? Like that's kind of like what camp is all about. So yeah, you're going to get a bunch of mixed reviews, Boats. I'm not even mad at that, man. You know what I mean? but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. All right. Preseason is Leon. Preseason is when you win the jobs. That's 100%, 100% for sure. Fernando, will the B.A.M show today, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Mike and I will be back. We're gonna be talking about security, top flight, mother freaking security. Okay, that's the B.A.M show. I'm giving y'all a taste of what the B.A.M show is gonna be because Mike and I gonna hit you with the B.A.M, the jab, the strong. Trying to think of all the Street Fighter buttons. We're going to hit you with it. So that's today, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys tune in. All right. And guess what? Nitty Gritty Niners Talk will be back tonight, 9 p.m. So you're going to get 3 shows on the WayneBreezie channel today. You're going to get right now live, B.A.M show at 4, Nitty Gritty Niners Talk, 9 p.m. all Eastern Standard Time. So guys, make sure y'all alerts are set to all as well. But back to the injury report. You know, when I think about the Spencer Burford injury, it's kind of like, dang, like, you already don't have Trent Williams in camp. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I was really trying to see how the continuity of the offensive line was going to flow with Jalen Moore out there and, you know, and the rest of the guys that are all starters. And so now you got to put in another rookie. So it can be a little, the offensive line is kind of makeshift right now. And it could be a little weird. So take a lot of stuff with the grain of salt. Right, take a lot of stuff, and this I still think that players are developing. You got to remember that the offensive line is not made of first round picks. I just want to remind people that the offensive line is not composed of first round picks or compiled of first round picks. There's no first round picks on this offensive line other than Trent Williams. I just want people to understand that everybody else were drafted to develop. Now they're getting their opportunities, and they just need reps. And so I think Colton McKivitz takes a step up. I think Spencer Burford takes a step up. I think Jake Brendel takes a step up. And I think Aaron Banks takes a step up. He's a second round pick, but he's not a first round pick. You understand what I'm saying? So I know people feel like a lot of comments that I get, especially on Facebook, a lot about like the 49ers don't address the offensive line. They don't. Because they don't early in the draft, and they definitely don't have the money to do it in free agency. But when they need to address the offensive line, you got to give the 49ers credit. When they need to, they do. They needed a left tackle. When Joe Staley retired, they traded for one. They got Trent Williams. Everybody, they needed a free agent center. They got Alex Mack, right? When they needed to address the O-line, they did exactly that, and they spent the money where they needed to spend it. I think the Niners, when it comes to their offensive line, it's just different. It's just they live by a different creed in the NFL, and they won't invest all their money in offensive line. They feel like they'll invest their money into the weapons and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So a big chunk of the offensive line goes into the left tackle, and the rest goes into the rest of the team. And now the Niners going to be having to pay a quarterback soon. So just think about that, before you start to criticize the offensive line. As bad as the offensive line was last year, as bad as it was, they still are a Super Bowl caliber offensive line. And me personally, I don't think it's all about them and their skill set. I think for me, it's all about them with the repetition and continuity. And I think the more they're together, the more they play together, the more fluid they're going to be as one. And I just think that this injury that no one is really zoned in on because they don't like Spencer Burford anymore because he missed the block to Chris Jones. I think this may hurt the team a little bit because now you're losing continuity. The good news is it's early in camp. The bad news for Spencer Burford is he's injured. And if Dominic Pooney, a.k.a. Big Pun, I ain't a player, I just block a lot. If he shows signs of what we think he's going to be in the NFL, yeah, Spencer Burford might lose a little something. I mean, he might lose a little something. So we'll see what happens. But that's Spencer Burford. I think he has the most severe injury, in my opinion, that just happened recent in camp. Let's get to the hamstring. Got a bunch of hamstring injuries, man. These hammies out here, they pulling hammies all over the place. All right, we got Jacob Cowing, rookie wide receiver, with a hamstring injury. Obviously, Ricky Pearsall with a hamstring injury, who's on the NFI list. And then Isaac Guerrero, rookie. Right? Wait a minute. It just hit me as I'm reading that all 3 hamstring injuries are the rookies. Now, hear me out. I wonder if this is because they overworked their asses for they got the Senior Bowl, they got the East-West Shrine Bowl, then they got to prepare for the combine, and they get into all this athletic running speed shape so they can run the Wait a minute. The hamstring injuries are the fastest players on the team. I wonder if this had to do with the training for the combine so that they can run fast. These are all 4.3 guys. Ricky Pearson, 4.3 guy. Isaac Guerrero, 4.3 guy. Jacob Cowing, 4.3 guy. How's it that all the 4.3 guys that just got drafted got hammy injuries? Pearson's the 4.3 guy. He's a 4.3 guy. These are 4.3 guys. It's crazy. It just hit me. It didn't hit me until just now as I'm reading the names on my list. I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. They all the rookies with the 4.3 speed. Hey, they need to tone down their speed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Work out the hammies, put some rub on it. You know what I'm saying? Get that Crisco. That's the thing. You got to go back to the Crisco. Slap the Crisco on the back of the hammy. Soak that, lather that joint in there. You know what I mean? Crisco was good on everything. And so maybe that's what they need to do. Anyway, good news is, we may get some of these guys to return. Let's talk about some 49ers news and updates. We got the signings, we got some roster moves, we got all this good stuff, right? We'll talk about the returns in a second, but let's get to the moves. So the 49ers signed wide receiver Frank Darby. Frank Darby, former Arizona State guy, Sun Devil, right? Guess who he was teammates with? Brandon Aiyuk. Didn't they come out in the same draft? Didn't they? Interesting. So, look, they brought him in here. A lot of people are like, well, what the hell? We don't need any more wide receivers. Listen, when your wide receivers are down in camp, you got to bring in some other guys. Now, my question is, what's good? I think they're just more about filling the spot because I'm curious to know how some of the undrafted UDFA guys are. I got to look at my list. You know what I mean? I wonder if they go with the Herm Edwards guys because they trust Herm Edwards. That's pretty cool, right? 49ers currently have 12 wide receivers on their 90-man roster. I'll read them to you. 1 isn't practicing. Well, 2 aren't practicing. 3 aren't practicing. Well, 2 aren't practicing, but 1 just pulled a hammy. Okay. All right, here we go. You ready? Deebo Samuel, Brandon Aiyuk's the one that's not practicing. Juwan Jennings, Chris Conley, Danny Gray, Ronnie Bell. Heard Danny Gray was having a mother freaking camp too. Man, y'all better give that man a round of applause. Danny Gray, Ronnie Bell, Trent Taylor, Tay Martin. I think either Tay Martin or Taylor Hawkins, one of them had an injury. It might have been Tay Martin. I can't remember which one it is. Ricky Pearsall, NFI list. He's not practicing as of yet. Jacob Cowing tweaked his hammy. Practicing, but tweaked his hammy, so didn't practice as of lately. Tariq Owens is the one that I'm curious about. I'm not concerned, just curious. And then Frank Darby. So when you look at Frank Darby's name, if you take out the 2 that aren't currently practicing, Brandon Aiyuk and Ricky Pearsall, and then you insert Frank Darby, it's like you're getting another wide receiver into the repertoire. So, I think Frank Darby has pretty decent speed. And I think he could be a guy that can get downfield and get open. And so not an illustrious NFL career. He played with the Falcons. It's not crazy. But you know what? Kyle Shanahan probably has a hand in some of these receivers that he wants on his roster, and we'll see what happens. When you look at it, I say who's the veteran of the veterans on this particular roster, and the veteran would be Chris Conley. Like he's the super duper senior. That's what I like to call when you got a bunch of years in the league, super duper senior. Then you got to go, believe it or not, you got to go with Trent Taylor. I mean, it's year 8, right? Isn't that the same year George Kittle came into the game? Year 8? And then you got your Deebo Samuel. All right. And then you got all your other guys. So this is going to be interesting to see how this wide receiver room pans out. Do I have Frank Darby making the roster? So that's crazy, right? Because now that's why I said I'm curious to know how Tariq Owens is doing in practice. Not really hearing much from Tariq Owens, but I'm curious to know how he's doing because they bring in another receiver. They bring in, he's a veteran, right? He's been in the league for 4+ years, right? Going on his 5th year, right? They bring him in. They sign to a 1-year deal. And then you have this undrafted guy. And so, like, dang, like for Tariq, it's like, oh, man, there's another guy I got to kind of like beat out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to beat out. So I have Darby being a camp body as of now because Ricky Pearsall is going to be back. And so the moment these guys return, now remember, the 49ers have 90 men on their roster. So that does not mean that Frank Darby is just a camp body unless they choose to bring somebody back. Okay? The 49ers actively have 90 men on their roster. I can read them all to you. They have 90 men on their roster. I have it broken down, for you guys. All right. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and share the screen just so you can see. Either I can't count or something is up. But they have 90 men on their roster, if I'm not mistaken. So let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger at 150. And let's see if I can share the screen. I'm trying to get better at presentation. This is what I used to do for a living. All right, here we go. 90 men on the current roster. All right, 46 on the offense. We'll go through them. They got 4 quarterbacks right now. Brock Purdy, Josh Dobbs, Brandon Allen, Tanner Mordecai. Again, they just worked out a quarterback name. Let me get it right. Josh Love. I hope I said that right. I feel like I'm not saying it right, but I feel like it's Josh Allen mixed with Jordan Love, and you get Josh Love. He played with the Rams, a little stint with the Rams, but they did bring him in for a workout. What does this mean for Tanner Mordecai, right? Who's the undrafted guy? That's why it's in red. What does this mean for him? I don't know. I don't know. All right. So we'll see what happens as camp continues to progress and these guys the pads get put on. Now, remember, quarterbacks aren't going to get touched. Quarterbacks should not get touched by players. Speaking of that, is it Montez Sweat for what team does he play for? Whatever team he plays for now, he got benched in practice for hitting the quarterback. I want to say it was him. I probably got the wrong name. I think I got the right name. I do. But he got benched for hitting the quarterback. Hands off the quarterback. Quarterback does not get touched. You could touch him. You better not put him to the ground with them pads on. All right. So we got four quarterbacks, 6 running backs. One's dealing with a hammy injury. Got Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason. How dope is it that Christian McCaffrey, Sweat is with Chicago, so it was with the Bears. I'm sorry. I couldn't remember what team he was with. But yes, it was thank you, because it was Caleb Williams that he brought down. You guys are awesome. Anyway, you got Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell. How cool is it that Elijah Mitchell is healthy? Like that. I need ding ding for that. That's cool. Patrick Taylor Jr. is the free agent that they brought in. Isaac Randall's dealing with a hamstring injury, a rookie, and Cody Schrader, the undrafted guy. So again, like Isaac Randall, if he doesn't get the opportunity to be healthy in practice, the undrafted guy is going to get the reps, right? This is so dope. Cody Schrader, oh man, Patrick Taylor, like, I don't know. I don't know how this is. I'm not ready to predict my 53-man roster yet because we haven't put the pads on, but 6 running backs, right? So that's 10 right there. You got Kyle Juszczyk as your fullback. That's 11. And then you go to your wide receivers. We did 12. So you got to add in the 12. And then you got your tight ends, George Kittle, Cameron Latou, Braden Willis, Jake Tongas, Eric Saubert, Mason Pline, and Logan Thomas. I'm going to be honest. I think Eric Saubert is tight end too. It should be Logan Thomas, but I think tight end 2 is going to be Eric Saubert. First of all, dude looks ripped. Second of all, dude is having a hell of a camp so far. He's like a mini George Kittle. Eric Saubert. Remember that name. Eric Saubert. I'm curious to see who's going to be tight end 2. But again, you got your 6 tight ends, and then you got to go to your offensive line, which is a little bit down here. Here are your tackles. Trent Williams isn't practicing. You got Colt McKivitz, Jalen Moore, Brandon Parker, Sebastian Gutierrez. I could be wrong. I could have one of these names off. I could be missing a name. We might only have 80. We might only have 89 because I feel like Sebastian Gutierrez isn't with the team anymore. I could be wrong. Isaac Alexon, he's your international player. And then your guards, Aaron Banks, John Feliciano, Spencer Burford, Jerry Kingston, Dominic Pooney, a.k.a. Big Pun, enough to make the Chicks, Nick Zakel, Ben Bart. So the Niners do have some depth on that offensive line. I know a lot of people don't like it. They don't like it, but they got some depth. And then your centers, I got Jake Brendo, Corey Luciano, Drake Nugent, Brazen Mays, your centers. So I have 46 offensive players. We get to the defense, got 41. Nick Bosa, Leonard Floyd, your Tergros Matos, who I heard was having a good camp. Robert Bill Jr. heard was having a good camp. Alex Barrett, Drake Jackson on the PUP, Austin Bryant, Sam Oquayino. I'm gonna get it right. I promise, Sam. I'm gonna get it right. Oquayino. Oquayinu. N-O-U, new. Got you. Your tackles, Hargrave, Malik Collins, I heard look really smooth. Big guy, quick feet, smooth. Kevin Givens, Kalia Davis, T.Y. McGill, Jordan Elliott, Evan Anderson. I'm really hoping he finds a way to make this roster. And then you got Shaquille Brown. All right. And then you got Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw on the PUPD winners, Devondre Campbell, Jalen Graham, Curtis Robinson, Ezekiel Turner, Tatum Bethune, that's your rookie, and Demetrius Flanagan Fowles. He did have an injury. He left the camp with an injury, but I don't think it was too severe. They haven't really even mentioned it. You know what I mean? They haven't even mentioned it. All right. So we'll see what happens. And then your safeties, Talano Hufanga on the PUP, Jair Brown, Malik Mustafa, your rookie, George Odom, Taylor Hawkins, Jalen Mahoney, your undrafted guy, and then your veteran in the group. They asked Kyle Shanahan about bringing in a veteran safety. And Kyle's like, we don't oppose it, but we got our guy. We got Eric Harris. That's our veteran. That's the veteran in the room. George Odom will probably be next. And then you got your other guys. So Kyle Shanahan, I think the safety room might be between the safety room and the linebacking room, that may be the strongest room on the defense. I forgot about the corners. Then you got your corners, Travarius Ward, Diamador Lenore. Then you got some question marks, right? Because you got guys that haven't proven themselves. Ambry Thomas may be on the low end of the totem pole. Isaac Yadam should be your cornerback 3. Samuel Womack III, I think, is going to bump up. Darrell Luter Jr. got an interception in practice. I think he bumps up. Your rookie, Renardo Green, looks good. Rocky Sin, and then Chase Lucas. Speaking of that, they let go of Keemon Hall, the quarterback, to make room for the wide receiver, Frank Darby. So Keemon Hall was the guy or the player that was waived. All right, the player was waived. So there's your roster moves. Eric Harris is still on the team. He said Harris ain't did nothing since 2018, but he's still on the team. Uncle Salty, what's going on out there, baby? It's good to see you. I'm not sleeping on Braden Willis. I promise you, there's no sleeping here. I just think that as of right now, I think Eric. So it depends on the packages, right? But they both are great blockers. I need to see more offense from Braden Willis, and I think that's fair for me to say. I'm not counting out Logan Thomas. He's just the newest in the system of the free agents. Trust me, not counting him out. Oscar, what's going on, baby? Definitely not counting him out. Promise you I'm not counting him out. They have a bunch of tight ends with some good hands. That tight end room and the battle is going to be crazy. I can promise you that. That tight end room and the battle is going to be crazy. So there's your updates, the players that were signed, players that were waived. We've been over the injury report. Let's get to the boodle of the show. We got a couple players that may return soon. We got Ricky Pearsall that may return this week off the NFI. Perhaps today he practices. Now, if he practices today, I wonder if he'll have on the blue non-contact jersey. I'm just curious. I don't know. But if I just want him off the NFI list. Blue non-contact football jersey, I'm cool with that. As long as he's off that list, I think that would be great. Again, if I said his name right? It's Sebastian Gutierrez. That's the guy we got. So Alfredo's not on the team, but Sebastian is on the team. They got me mixed up. 2 Gutierrez's. All right. So I believe the Niners are at the 90-man roster. All right. So the cool thing is you got Ricky Pearsall, he may return. Hopefully he returns today. That was per Kyle Shanahan. And they asked about Talanoa Hufanga, and I think that's kind of cool because hopefully he'll be back within a week, maybe a week or two. Because then now your safety room is, man. Now your safety room is like okay. And I heard George Odom was having a good camp at safety. This is crazy. It might be George Odom starting and Jair Brown, or it might be Jair Brown and the rookie Malik Mustafa who's having a hell of a camp. I don't know. I don't know. I can't really call it, but I know those are two players that should be returning. I do expect Drake Jackson to return at some point off the PUP, but I don't expect Dre Greenlaw to return. The Niners will figure out what to do with Dre Greenlaw. As far as I got a question, what do you and put your comments in the comment section? It's a live show, so I'm definitely going to look at these comments right now because I'm going to ask a question. All right, tell me what you think. Dre Greenlaw. Do you think the Niners, they know his injury? Do you think it would be smart or wise for the Niners to offer Greenlaw an extension? Or do you think this is going to be his final year with the 49ers? What do you guys think? Final year with the 49ers? Or do they offer him an extension? Because now would be a good time, right? He's coming off the injury. You know what? You know the good you're going to get out of him, but you just don't know how he's going to hold up. So you don't have to offer him a certain amount of money. I don't know. What do you guys think? Peachy says absolutely yes. I'm with you. I'm with you on this one, Peachy. I'm not even going to stunt. Not even going to lie. I'm with you. I think I would offer him the extension. I think the price is low for you because of the injury. Oscar says extension. You have the upper hand. Like, see, don't think about it from a business aspect. It's like you could get a pair of Jordans. They're not brand new, know what I mean, but they look good. Like they clean. Know what I mean? They've been through some stuff. Let's say a cat pissed on them. They've been refurbished, right? And they smell good. They look good, but they damaged. So you can kind of get it right now. You know what I mean? That's probably a terrible ass comparison. I'm sorry, I can't compare player to shoes. But I'm with Oscar. I think you have the extension. Peachy, I think you're right. Thomas says depends on if Winter shows out. Raphael 562 says Greenlaw is staying. I don't know. Z's left free agency. We got our first super chat. We need, I believe, they had to be $5 to be the goal. Damn it. We were trying to do this bullseye thing. It's a bullseye. And I think if you gave a $5, Eddie G, and if you would have gave the $5 super chat, we would have one toward the goal of super chats. Happy belated birthday, bro. Breezie, I turned 40 on Saturday. I'm pumped for football. Man, you young. 40 young. Can't wait for Nitty Gritty Niners talk. Happy birthday to our brother Eddie G and the Bulldogs, man. We celebrate you, bro. We celebrate you. My man Great One says they're going to wait and see how D Winters pans out. Yeah, but then so here's the thing. You can wait, and if he does pan out, I don't think they look to bring Greenlaw back, right? Or you could bring Greenlaw back on a low, extend him on a low, kind of like how they did prior, like a 2-year extension maybe, which still gives D Winters time to develop. Like you don't have to rush him. You keep him cheap for a little while. And then boom, when his time hits, Greenlaw out, Winters get paid. I think it could work in any kind of a situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think it works in any kind of situation. I'm sorry if the iPhone doesn't let you pay the $5, the extra 1 cent. I don't know what's going on, but we have a goals thing for me to host the private super chats. You have to give a minimum of $5. I don't think I was able to change that. So, let me know if you could. Somebody give me a $5 super chat. I just want to see the junk show up in green. I want to see if it works. Anyway, Eddie G and the Bulldogs, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, bro. And happy belated birthday. Happy 40th birthday. All right. So let's talk about, like, Brandon Aiyuk, he's here. We got to talk about BA. And I know, Brandon Aiyuk, I'm getting a lot of just mixed feelings about Brandon Aiyuk, man. Like, and I hate, like, I want to comment, I want to defend Brandon Aiyuk, I want to do all this stuff, and it's just like, can I just remind everybody, you can feel however you want, you can say whatever you want, just do it tastefully, please. It's the only thing I ask. Even if you don't listen, just think about it before you say it. Make sure it's just tasteful. All right, there we go. We got the things now. I hope they're supposed to come in teal. What the hell is going on? Oh, you know what? Thank y'all for the super chat contributions. I appreciate that. I'm gonna give y'all the hearts and the air horns. You gotta click on that gold button. Don't give it again if you already gave it. You gotta click on that gold tab at the top where it says top chat and give it in that. Then it should let you do the $5 one. I'm just curious to know, Niner Cali Boy, Raphael 562. You guys have iPhones. I'm just curious to know if you have iPhones. You can just put yes or no in the chat. I'll do it, whatever. It was a limited time. Oh, it left. It was for 30 minutes. Never mind. Don't do it again. My bad. Thank you, Colin. I forgot. It was a limited time. It was 30 minutes. Y'all gotta be quick. Skim at the beginning of the show and then boom, boom, boom. So we'll try it again the next show. All right. We'll try it again the next show. Appreciate you guys. I just want people to understand, like, a lot of people feel like he's not worth $31 million. I really don't understand how we can say who's worth what. Here's what I do know. Oh, they got Androids. Okay. So I feel like Android lets you give amount, whatever. Here's what I do know. We would not have been in the Super Bowl if it wasn't for Brandon Aiyuk. Now, for everybody that loved this fact that the 49ers went to Super Bowl 58, man, put your thumbs up, because my thumbs are up. I got to give a full round of applause for that. Thumbs are up. Thank you, Colin. Appreciate that. Now, I don't care. Like, I don't want to get into what he's worth, what he's not worth, but he's worth something. Because for me, he's been the best wide receiver. Just from me, he's been the best wide receiver since Terrell Owens on this team. And we could go back to Anquan Bolden, and y'all would love him. And if Anquan was asking for this money, would you say the same thing? Because it would have been Anquan Bolden in that conversation that they required, right? And so, like, I just feel like he's been the best wide receiver since Anquan Bolden on this team. No Michael Crabtree, none of those guys can amount to what Brandon Aiyuk has done. A lot of people are saying that he only had one good season, and I'm like, well, how is it he had one good season if he had back-to-back seasons with 1,000 yards? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You can't say he had one good season if he had 1,000 yards in 2 seasons. So if you want to go back to this rookie season, you want to go back to whatever, got it. Cool. Didn't mount up to whatever. Didn't have 4 consecutive 1,000 yard seasons like your Justin Jeffersons, like some of these other guys that are getting paid top dollar. But if you look at Brandon Aiyuk's numbers, he's a top 10 wide receiver in the league. And when you look at the top 5 receivers, one of those players, possibly 2, aren't top 10 receivers. Well, at least one I don't think is a top 10 receiver. And when you look at Amon-Ra St. Brown's contract and what he does, I get he's their number 1 option. But we make it seem like Brandon Aiyuk doesn't want to be number 1 option. Did I just glitch? I'm sorry if I glitched. We make it seem like, oh no, I was trying to make sense out of it. I was kind of like on some Porky Pig stuff. But at the end of the day, it's not like Brandon Aiyuk says, I don't want to be the number one option. I guarantee you, if they just threw the ball to Brandon Aiyuk, he would put up identical numbers to your top guys that got paid or extended, right? And so when it comes down to what he's worth, I don't feel like we could put that number and say he's not worth 31, because I guarantee you, the Niners had it, they would give it to him. I bet you. I bet everybody $1. If the Niners weren't financially strapped, he would get 31 million or 30 million, whatever the number is he's asking for, and we'll call it a day. Now, I do know a little something about income taxes and stuff with the state, and that 26 million clear, quote unquote, which has been offered. Can somebody tell me in California how much of the 26 million would Brandon Aiyuk get? I don't live in California, but I do know there's a high ass tax. So how much of that would he actually get? Can somebody tell me that if it was that year, like if he was getting 26 a year, like how much of that he would get living in the state of California? Because in the state of Miami, he would get all 26 million. In the state of Texas, he would get all 26 million. And I think that factors in. We don't talk about that enough. Now, I'm not saying he's worth 31 million or he's not worth 31 million, but he definitely earned a spot on this roster. He's definitely into his first official contract out of his rookie season. And I hate the people, not hate the people. I hate when people say, like, just play on the deal you signed up for. Well, at the end of the day, he didn't. That's what takes rookies in the first round so long to sign their contracts, because of that stupid ass 50-year option, which I think the team wins on that deal every single time. And that, I feel like that deal was put in for the team for negotiation tactics, because there's no way you mean, okay, everybody wants Brandon Aiyuk to play for $14.1 million, right? Cool. But then that makes him one of the lowest paid receivers in the league. And he's not he's a top 10 receiver. That's not even top 10 money. So how can we say he's not, if he's a top 10 receiver, then he's got to get paid top 10 money, right? And so at the end of the day, even that 14.1 million is low. So they got to figure it out. And I believe that they will. He's at practice. He's not practicing, but he's participating in everything else. And so what if it's the $40,000 a day thing, which doesn't make sense to me either, because he's on his rookie deal and that money can be forgiven. So he's there to be a part of the team, right? You can say some people feel like he's there because he doesn't want to get fined $40,000 a day. Well, the rule of the CBA per rookie deals, that 5th-year option is part of your rookie contract. That money can be forgiven. So that $40,000 a day, if he didn't show up, can be forgiven by the team if the team chooses to forgive it, which I believe the teams do. The 49ers would do that. But at the end of the day, he's there. And you got to give the man credit for showing up. Kyle Shanahan said he's at the meetings. He's participating with all the team stuff. He's just not practicing. That's it. Now, I don't care what he gets paid. I don't understand. I'm not paying him, so it doesn't really bother. If he makes 40 million, cool. If he makes 20 million, cool. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But I think we are a bit harsh on saying what people are worth and what they're not worth. Brandon Aiyuk was number 60, 70, 66 on the top NFL 100 players, right? He's the last 49er to have been mentioned so far. We know we're going to get some more up there. Right? I don't even know if Debo makes the list. I hope he makes the list, but we'll see what happens. That means people are starting to respect who he is in the league. And I just feel like Brandon Aiyuk is going to get paid by the 49ers. And I don't want people to be mad if they do decide to cave and give him 30 million a year or whatever. Right? Like, don't be mad. Just understand that the Niners are in a situation where they have players that they draft, players that they trade for, and players that outperform their contracts. And when players outperform their contracts, the team has to make harsh decisions. Well, the Niners didn't trade him during prime real estate time to trade him. Not saying that they didn't try, but they also didn't pull the trigger, right? Because teams were inquiring about Brandon Aiyuk. If he wasn't going by draft time, there's no way the Niners are going to make that trade now. And so at this point, yes, the Niners own his rights. Yes, they own the fact that he has to play at the 14.1 million. I get all of that. All of that is 100% true. We all understand it. I just think the way that the Niners handle their business is that they take care of their own as well. And so when we get to this next player, that's where it started to really hit the fan. Like, I'm like, what are we talking about here? All right, so Trent Williams. We got to talk about Trent Williams because Trent Williams is officially holding out, right? Trent Williams is holding out. And he's holding out because the guarantees in his contract are gone. Like, they're used up. They're all gone. He got paid the money that was guaranteed, and now he's looking for guaranteed money. And here come all the people saying that he should just show up and play under the contract that he signed, and he knew what he was signing when he got into it, and this is then the third. And I've been going somewhat kind of back and forth because, you know, I just feel like we are so selective in things. Niner Cali boy, thank you for the super chat contribution. He says the league should figure out a way to tax all the players equally, maybe based everybody out of the NFL headquarters to even the paying scale. I don't think that works because it's a statute thing. And so them being I've never played football before professionally. So I'm assuming they sign 1099s. So wherever they play at home, they got to pay those taxes. And wherever they go on the road and get a check, they got to pay the taxes in that state as well. So I don't even think we factor that in. I don't think the league can do that because of the states. I think the states control that. You know what I mean? So that's a good freaking thought. But I don't think it would cost the league way more money, right? Because now you're telling the league to pay the state taxes, and then they set a bar because the state got to get paid. The state's got to get paid. The state's got to get paid. At the end of the discussion, at the end of the day, states got to get paid their due, right? So I don't know how this would work unless the league pays all the state taxes for every player's contract, which would cost them an arm and a leg. I just don't see the league doing that. And so that's the only way I think it would work. I could be way off on this. It's not my forte. Don't really like to get into it, but I know every player got to pay taxes wherever they play, right? So like for me as a musician, okay? As a musician, if I play in a different state and I get paid over a certain amount of money, I got to pay taxes to that state. Does that make sense? So if I go on tour and I got to play in Pennsylvania and I make my money in Pennsylvania and I make over a certain amount of money, I got to make sure I get Pennsylvania Day cut and where I live. I think that's just so crazy. So I don't know. I don't know how it works. It's crazy, but that would be a good idea. I just don't think that's what it comes down to. All right, let's talk about Trent Williams on the holdout. Now, my theory and thought process is the Niners find a way to get this done because I'm watching offensive line get extended. I think Taylor Decker was the latest one that just got extended. Christian Darrisaw got extended. Now, here's the kicker with Trent Williams, right? Trent Williams has been ranked the number 3 player in the NFL. I think that is part of it. I think that solidifies everything. And you know, at his age, he's still dominant. So you mean to tell me at what is Trent, 37, 30? At this age, he's the 3rd best player in the NFL? I just feel like when players outperform their contracts, I think it should be okay to go and renegotiate something. Now, I know businesses, listen, businesses will fire you if you don't perform your contract, right? If you don't perform your duties and what you said you were going to do, they could let you go, right? Like, I mean, that's how it works, right? They'll take a penalty, they'll take the hit, they'll take whatever, right? Especially in football, they can do that, right? So I don't see anything wrong with Trent going and saying this. I just don't. Now, I'm curious to know how much more he's looking to get in his as far as guarantees, things like that. But here's what Oscar says. He pulled this information up. He's due currently until 2027. So he's given us a scenario where you can extend him a 4-year deal. He's getting $25 million annually and the $30 million signing bonus. So I believe that signing bonus, is that the guarantee money, Oscar? If I'm saying this correct, you can correct me in the chat. And then you divide that up into the 4 years. So 30 divided by 4 is about 6 and some change a year. So he would get that every year for the 4 years, or does he get the 30 million right up front? I don't know how I think the signing bonus is broken down into the years, but you let me know. So that's crazy, man. That is crazy. So like at the end of the day, like when it comes to, you look at Trent Williams. Good morning, Tanya. When it comes to Trent, if he's pulling this type of a move, is for a reason. I believe the reason is guarantees. If Trent is due 31 million this year, right? And so, or 30 something million, he's due that, right? With no guarantees. That's right. Okay, so Oscar, I was right. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure I was right. So, I mean, the Niners don't have a problem paying him the 31 million, but it's not guaranteed. So, God forbid Trent gets hurt. Not sure how that works out. Just know that it's not guaranteed. So for Trent, I think at this age, this stage in his career, he's just looking for guarantees. Debo's looking for Brandon Aiyuk's looking for security and guarantees. And so listen, I tell you what, at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mike and I are going to talk about security. We're going to talk about security. We're going to talk about top flight security because we're going to talk about the securities and the players and their contracts. Just want to break that down so you guys can get an idea where we're going to be going, because we want to break this down a little bit more. I think people don't realize what security is all about. I think people want players to just shut up and play. You sign this deal, you play on this deal that you signed. But what happens when a player outperforms that deal? Or what happens if a team asks you to take a pay cut because you didn't perform well? Hint, Eric Armstead. They let him go. And so like I feel like it could go both ways. You know what I mean? I feel like it can go both ways. All right, a couple of questions before we get up out of here. Boats, why Trent take a deal with no guaranteed money? Always have guaranteed money for each year. I think I think when he first signed, he got his guaranteed money, I think more up front, if I'm not mistaken. So he got guarantees, right? There's just none this year and the next 3 years. It's so weird. So I think his guarantee money just ran out. So Trent got guarantees. He just didn't. I don't think Trent. Maybe Trent didn't expect to play football this long. Maybe Trent didn't feel like he was, going to be still this viable of a deal. But then he realized that he's still the guy, right? He's still the guy, and so. Not only is he still the guy, he's outperforming everyone else in the league. He's the only offensive lineman in the top 3 of players. I don't think this is about being greedy. I think this is just about security. So if I got to continue to, and you got to look at it like this. I already know you about to pay the quarterback. When Trent got here, it was Jimmy Garoppolo, it was Trey Lance, it was all these things, right? It was all these guys. I think he realized that the Niners are about to pay their quarterback, and you're going to need me to protect them, and I can still do it. I don't. Do you guys feel that Trent is being greedy? I guess that's the question we'll end with today's episode. If Trent's being greedy, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you feel like he's not being greedy, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. That was a good question. You know what I mean? I don't feel like he's being greedy. I would love to talk to you guys off the air, so feel free to hit me up. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the WayneBreezie Show. It's good to be back. You guys have been real ones. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for all the super chat contributions. I'm sorry that we missed the goal mark. We had about 4 or 5 of them joints too. I'll work on getting the goal down pack. Here's the poll question result. Shout out to everybody that voted in the poll question. Fred Warner will lay the biggest boom. I'm going with Debo. I'm sorry. Here are my standouts from practice. Offensively, it's just Debo Samuel. I mean, he's the only vet that's been at every practice. And I don't know why he's not wearing the helmet shield, whatever they call it, but he out there banging. And so, I don't know. I told you Debo was going to be on another one. Guys, you guys have been real. Defensively, Malik Mustafa has been balling. But the whole damn safety room has been balling. The whole damn secondary has been balling. Look out for the secondary this year. That's Nick Sorensen's group. I'm excited. And you know what everybody has said about playing under Nick Sorensen? Everybody has said the same thing. He used to play football. Reminds me of DeMeco Ryans. Defense is about to be too legit on Swole this year. I love you guys, man. See you guys 4 p.m. on the B.A.M show with my co-host, Mike Andrews from Nothing But Niners. Till the next time, stay up, faithful. We out this joint, and Nitty Gritty is back. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.
So bright that we shine. All we know is the Niners. Ready to go, that is finest. So faithful to the bay. I be sipping gold bar whiskey on the rocks, and a 24 karat gold on a watch. My 7-1 Chevy be tipping nonstop, sounding like Trent Williams on the block. So you know we can't stop, we be banging through your speakers. WayneBreezie on the field or in the bleachers. You can tune into my show and I'm a teacher. WayneBreezie, the 4-9 preacher. We so bright that we shine.